All right, stream is live. We're here with Ivan and Cameron. Am I saying that right?
You are.
From Nolus Protocol here. They're going to give us a little live demo of their product they have built. So if you guys want to, stream is live. Oh, I had my stream playing back to me very loud. Sorry about that. So if you guys just want to give us a little rundown, what is Nolus Protocol?
Sure. Pleasure to do so. First of all, thank you for having us. Now, the Nolus Protocol is a financial suite that aims to be for anyone that wants to do crypto transactions. So if you just want to actually use, buy, sell, stake your crypto, you're allowed to do that on the Nolus Protocol. But what it actually is aimed for is to be a DeFi lease between and be a bridge between, like a money market between lenders who are looking to earn yields on deposited stable coins and borrowers on the other side who are looking to actually amplify their holdings with more assets than their equity. So we've created the DeFi lease, the world's first DeFi lease actually, because no one else is not only using that concept, but doing that lending solution in that way. So you as a borrower are able to provide a down payment, get 150 above that down payment. And this loan, together with your down payment in stables, both are used to purchase the desired digital asset that you want to purchase. Let's say it's Atom or Osmo or Ethereum, whatever. So the down payment and the loan act as collateral. You get 3 times more exposure compared to crypto lenders. You also get 40% lower margin call risk because you now lock not only the initial down payment or the initial collateral, but also the loan. And in that particular example, you're also the owner of the asset, meaning that as a borrower, you can utilize that asset in different active lease positions in yield optimization strategies. For example, you can liquid stake it, you can do other things in order to earn rewards while you're in the DeFi lease position. So yeah, in a nutshell, very shortly, this is what we're trying to build at the very final stage, because we're in the month of our mainnet, probably mid of May, we would launch. We're yet to announce the final date very soon.
Interesting. So I haven't really, I looked a little bit into Nolus. How does something that I was kind of thinking about, like, does this end up with like a lower liquidation risk than like a traditional borrowing platform, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it does. It actually, this is exactly what we're trying to do. So you get more exposure, you get much more compared to crypto lenders, whether they're centralized or decentralized. You get up to 3x more, but you still get 40% lower liquidation risk. And this is entirely because you actually lock both the down payment and the loan, convert it, fix the price of the asset immediately, convert it into the asset you want to purchase, and now the full position actually covers your margin call. Even if you hit a margin call, it's not a full liquidation, it's only a partial liquidation to return you to a healthier level. This also allows you to be more time within the position and have lower final liquidation rate compared to even the first liquidation. So it would probably do 3 or 4 partial liquidations until final liquidation is met, but still you get 40-50% better margin call risk with that solution.
That's pretty sweet, actually.
It is, and that's why we like it. We like it, and we know that people would be using it a lot. And the idea is not only to just have more exposure and have better liquidation risk, but also earn rewards during your DeFi lease on the amplified position. So the case with the liquid staking, you can actually earn on your Atom 20% APY. You are paying interest of 10, 12, 13, 14%, depending what liquidity there is and what the current price on the protocol would be. But still, you're actually covering all of your interest together with the principal from the rewards that you're earning from the Atom stake position. So you're basically creating self-repaying loan.
So what, I guess what sparked this idea? Like, what made you want to build this? Does it just come kind of out of the blue? Did you start building something else and it evolved into this, or?
No, we actually started the idea with exactly that DeFi lease in mind, and the first idea actually came out from real Web2 financial leases, where you actually provide the down payment and start using the asset immediately. You purchase a house with a down payment, you purchase a vehicle with a down payment. Once you do that, you actually start using the asset. Here, the idea is the same. You provide a down payment, you start using the asset. You liquid stake it, you earn rewards. You also get the P&L effect, meaning that if the price appreciates, you get the full appreciation as yours to keep. So basically, started as an idea from the real world Web2 financial product, and we tried to convert it into the Web3 based on that everyone that wants to join the ecosystem and the growth of the ecosystem would be able to do so with a very simple project, with a very simple product that they understand from the real world.
That's awesome. I'm trying to think of how to word this. It seems too cool and too simple to be true, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and we actually get the same message every single day, because in the past like 3 weeks we had a lot of people that are actual users, beta testers of our protocol, and they said exactly that. They said that it's too simple, first of all, to use, which is great, and second of all, as a concept, it makes a lot of sense to have something like that on the market.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting here now like, why don't I have this now already? You know what I mean? Like, I want this.
Almost in 2 weeks.
I can't wait. Yeah, so if you guys want to give us the run through demo, we can go rip through that now.
Sure. Okay, guys, I will be the Kamen's beautiful blonde assistant today. He will do the talking. I will do the scrolling around the web application. So feel free to ask him anything at any point. I just want to confirm that you can see my screen.
I cannot right now. Now I can. Yep, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
There it is. Yeah, so basically the first step you need to do in order to get the Nolus protocol up and running is to connect your wallet. You can do your Kepo, you can do your Ledger. It's entirely up to you. You can do a couple of wallets if you desire to do so, of course. Once you connect, it actually gets you to the actual app. And the app, first of all, the first page of everything you see is the asset page. So your portfolio, your value. This portfolio actually has your tokens. It could be NOS, it could be USDC stables, it could be any other digital asset that you have purchased. You can very easily send and receive tokens through that page by clicking that button, and you can actually do the network on Osmosis, but the Nolus network, but you can also do Osmosis network. So here the technology beneath is interchain accounts and IBC, meaning that it's very simple, very straightforward, and very fast in terms of execution. Once you send and receive, you would be also able to do here swapping, meaning that you would be able to buy your crypto or sell your crypto or swap your crypto. So the whole idea at the end is that you can use that as a non-custodial wallet where you just buy or sell your crypto. And this is step number one, like convenience, in order to have a one-stop shop for you to do your transactions. But the most beautiful and the part that we wanted to push on the market is the DeFi lease. So if you decide to do a DeFi lease, basically you click lease here, and once you do a down payment, your down payment could be in any asset. So stables is the simplest way, but you can do Osmo. You can do whatever asset you have in your wallet, as long as it's convertible currently on a DEX. You can do it, and this is the beauty of our model, that it's actually connected to a DEX. In the first case, it will be Osmosis, but then it will be many DEXs. So with that, we actually are able to tap the liquidity of those DEXs. So basically everything that they have as liquidity, we use it, and you as a user are able to use it here. So let's do a simple transaction. You provide 100 in terms of USDCs. This is quite simple. You want to purchase Osmo. Now, you are the one that needs to choose how much additional leverage or loan you want to take. With the 100, you can take 100, you can take 75, you can take 25, you can take up to 150. Now, with the more you borrow, the more the risk and margin call risk increases. It is still 40-50% lower compared to other crypto lenders, but you still have the risk here or higher or lower depending on how much leverage you take, which is normal. Now, if you decide to take 100 as down payment, you actually borrow 150 in terms of additional loan, and the 250 would be purchasing approximately 81 at Osmos on a DEX, walk it into the smart contract instance, and actually become your collateral in terms of the loan. Now, the current price of Osmo is approximately $3. This is because we are connected to the testnet of Osmosis. These are not real prices, which would change at mainnet in 2 weeks. Then you have your interest currently that you would be paying 18.6% APY. It would be between 12 to 80 to 19%, depending on how much liquidity there is, because there is very low liquidity currently on our testnet, because it's faucet tokens. You actually get at the higher end, but it would be probably on average 13 to 14%. And then you get your partial liquidation. Now you can see the partial liquidation calculation here, how much you actually take as Osmo and how much the first partial liquidation would trigger your position. Now, if you decrease the leverage and you take only 100, just as an example, you can actually see that the price of liquidation decreases from 2 to 1.7. If you decide to take even lower, 25, for example, the lowest possible, your risk decreases so much that you actually get up to 0.68 in terms of partial liquidation. So let's do 100 to 150. So you're taking the maximum here. Once you do the maximum, you open the position. What happens here is that your stables, 100 in stables, together with the 150 that has been provided by the lenders, they are actually going towards to open a channel towards the DEX. So the 250 actually open the channel towards the DEX. Once they do that, they go to the DEX and they swap towards the asset that you want to purchase, Osmo in this example. So you have 250 of stables that are currently traveling towards the DEX through the channel on the smart contract. They are swapping towards the Osmo token. Once they swap onto the Osmo token, they would be returned and locked as collateral within the lease position. Now, the beauty of it here is that we're using IBC through that every single transaction here. And this allows us to, because what we've discussed so far is going to Osmosis and actually doing a swap there. But this allows us also to be cross-chain. And this is our future goal in terms of the next 6 to 12 months in development. Really tap the liquidity of different DEXs, different chains, different blockchains, and people, users, never understand that they are actually switching networks. Now, the main goal at the end is, for example, someone with their MetaMask connecting their wallet to our web app, doing their transaction, taking a DeFi lease through the different networks, and basically tap the liquidity of different blockchains, and people from different blockchains able to use our Cosmos SDK built layer 1 app chain. Now, here, what you also are able to do while we're waiting for the opening, it's usually between a minute and a half, depending on how much liquidity and how much current transactions there are on the DEX. This time would only improve, of course, in the future when we have a lot of DEXs and the system would be able to recognize where to go. But in the meantime, you can be a lender as well. So you can actually provide liquidity so that the borrowers take out liquidity. You can provide liquidity in stables currently starting with the USDC as option, but also we would be adding additional stables throughout the time, so that people are able to provide different stables into the pools, which could be used by the borrowers to purchase more or get a loan. You can also for example, now here, the yield would be between 10 to 12% for stables, and then probably 30 to 40% in our native token, meaning that if you provide liquidity in USDCs, let's try it out. Ivan has already provided 200, but you can provide another 20. Don't do a large transaction. Once you provide more, and the more and more provide, the more and more you get, of course, in terms of rewards. You can as easily withdraw as you have actually provided. So you just provided 200, you had 200, you provided another 20. You can withdraw. You can actually have here, it says currently with the yield is 20% total in stables. You can also be delegating tokens, our NOS tokens, in terms of the proof of stake network, and earn from the 15% inflation pool that would be distributing tokens towards stakeholders in a period of 10 years. On the right, you can also are your rewards, and you can claim them at any time. Let's see now whether the list has open. Hopefully it has been completed. Here it is. So you basically provided 100 as down payment. You get an outstanding debt of 150. Once you do that, the 250 traveled to the osmosis. They swapped. They entered and purchased 80.9 osmos and returned it into the smart contract. Now this is where the ownership lies, because now you have 80.9 osmo into the smart contract position, and you can use those to liquid stake it. So you can basically earn rewards on those 80.9 osmos, or the full position of 250 currently purchased. Now, if the price tomorrow appreciates from, let's say 20%, you actually get 20% PNL on the amplified position, which is X3. If you decide to come and repay, there are no other costs rather than annual percentage rate. In your example, it's 18.6. If you want to currently repay, you can repay immediately the full position, paying only 0.15 in interest. In stables, you can repay in stables, you can repay in any other currency. But if you decide to just repay very shortly, it actually the stable coins travel towards the smart contract. They repay your loan in full. This means now that you actually have 18.9 osmos that you can collect into your wallet. Once you collect them, it will become part of your asset page. And once it becomes part of your asset page, you can do other things with them. You can again liquid stake it. You can send it to someone. You can swap it. You can sell it. You can do whatever you want to do with that token. Now, you actually opened a lease position that's 3 times more exposure at very 40 to 50% better liquidation rate with only partial liquidation, all done through IBC and interchain accounts. I think this is the main summary. Once you collect in full this lease position, it would actually be part of the your asset page. Everything that we've tried to do is we tried to do it with the idea of people doing only 2 or 3 clicks for every transaction that he's making. So very simple to use, very understandable to use.
So we got a question from chat that was kind of something that popped into my head as well. How does Nolus avoid like the normal fractional reserve banking issue? This kind of ties into what we're seeing in the United States with banks going down.
Well, first of all, here it's like a peer-to-peer platform, the blockchain. So you have lenders that are providing liquidity and borrowers that are taking out this liquidity. Now, if you have sufficient lenders currently in the protocol, let's say that you have 100 lenders with 1 each. So you have 100 in total. Now borrowers come and take 50 out of those, right? So basically, you have 50 available. As long as there would be an efficiency ratio that would be covering the ratio between borrowers and lenders. And if lenders, for example, start withdrawing funds, there would be an additional cushion that they would be able to withdraw. Otherwise, the only way to close all the position and all lenders retrieve their cash is once borrowers are complete, meaning that borrowers need to repay in full or be liquidated in full, depending which comes first, so that lenders receive in full their money. But there wouldn't be a situation, based on what we've seen in the current market, where there is high possibility of lenders losing money. There is no such possibility, because in this peer-to-peer platform, you actually just might be willing to wait a little bit so that the borrowers repay or entirely get liquidated on their position. But at the end, all lenders would be made full with the interest on top.
So is that something that will be shown on, like, say, the lending page, the lend versus borrow ratio?
Yeah, at some point we will be adding some statistical data in the application itself, but for the first iteration, we'll go only with the basic functionality, and we will proceed forward afterwards, adding more and more features. There is something I want to emphasize here, that the system is designed in a way that it won't actually give the option for, let's say, for a lot of lenders to provide liquidity to the system, or if this liquidity is not utilized on a certain level. For example, if this certain level is breached, the system will automatically close the option for new deposits to come into the pools of Nolus. This way we can make sure that the actual yields that are coming from lenders will not be diluted and will stay stable and high on the long run. And this we think will be quite good for people to stay on the long run with us and provide liquidity to the system.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. So there's just like a fail stop on that side of it, so you really can't. So then if there are outstanding debts, are they locked as tokens shown on chain, or how does that work?
Yeah, everything is completely transparent. It's on chain. As Kamen mentioned, all transactions are done on chain. There's no centralized party in this scenario. We utilize IBC to transfer tokens between different Cosmos-enabled chains that support the IBC protocol, as well as interchain accounts, which is the actual communication, which actually gives the ability of our meaning the Nolus smart contract instances to communicate and to give directives to accounts that are created on different chains. And in this example that we went through with opening this lease position is first, it's when a new lease is opened, the smart contract factory of Nolus creates a unique instance which is bound with the user's wallet. Afterwards, it creates a channel between Osmosis and Nolus in this example, and afterwards creates an alternative account on Osmosis. Right after those steps are done, the actual token transfer and swap begins.
So I know it was kind of answered, but it was asked in chat. So someone said, is it only whitelisted chains? That it would,
yes.
Yeah.
It will be only whitelisted chains and whitelisted yield strategies, because as Kamen mentioned, having an underlying asset in every lease position, there is an option for the end users to utilize those assets in a way that they can provide them additional value. However, listing new chains and new functionalities will be done under governance voting on the system itself.
Governance voting kind of ties into the next question from chat. So we kind of saw it there, but they asked, is there a Nolus token? And if so, what is it used for?
Yes, there is a Nolus token. First of all, the design went with this. We have our own blockchain, meaning that the Nolus protocol lies on top of his own blockchain. It's an app-specific chain, and the Nolus token will be first used for gas and afterwards for governance, meaning that everyone that stakes its token and provides security to the network will be able to steer the ship, steer the development of the protocol in a way that he sees fit. And last but not least, we will provide much more, I would say, value accrual mechanism for different participants in the protocol. For example, let's say if I have Nolus token and I stake it to the network, I will then unlock much more, I would say, superior rates in terms of lending API that I will be receiving as a staker, and for example, much favorable borrower API and borrower margins as a borrower.
Makes sense. Excuse me. So I kind of looking at it, it kind of seems like you guys are building just even just looking at the app itself, it kind of just feels like the first like a home for crypto people. Like this is the one, I guess, bookmark you need to do your crypto stuff, if that makes sense. So like someone buying crypto, you know, they hop on their Coinbase, they buy their coins. You're like, all right, we're sending it right over to Nolus, and that's all we need to do, essentially.
Thank you for that. We were kind of looking into this hybrid model. We wanted to make it, I would say, as much appealing as for DeFi DJs that have been in this for years, and they know a lot of ways how to create different strategies. But also in terms of user experience, we wanted to make it suitable for newcomers that we all think that in the upcoming years are only going to grow in terms of numbers. So that's the balance that we were looking to achieve with the way Nolus with the current iteration of the UX of Nolus. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean it does really fit what you just described. It looked like something I would be myself, the DeFi degen, as you said. That would be definitely in my bookmarks, but I could also send the link over to my mom, who's used Coinbase maybe once in her life. Be like, hey, you got to go check this out, and she could figure it out. So that's kind of really appealing to me. Back to the coin.
This is exactly what we wanted to achieve, right? Actually, first of all, have the people that are newcomers to the ecosystem able to use a very simple solution, and the people that are used to have hard solutions to get used to having a better UI and really appreciate it.
It's very underrated these days as a nice UI. Everyone just slaps something together and sends it out. It's like, well, the tech might be great, but I can't explain. If I can't explain how to use it in a couple sentences, it's too difficult for most people, unfortunately. But Morecoin asked, back on the topic of the coin, what's the rate of inflation on the Nolus token? I know this is kind of getting a little in the weeds, but...
well, the rate of inflation, of course, would depend on many factors once we go live. Now, we have separated 15% of total token supply to be inflationary tokens, meaning 150 million tokens out of 1 billion. Those would be separated, segregated, and delegated towards different parties in a period of 10 years. So it pretty much depends how much interest there is, how much delegation there is. What we expect on average is to be between 25 to 40% APY, especially in the first couple of years.
Yeah, here the good part here is that one of the reasons we decided to opt out for an upchain solution is that we could actually use the Cosmos SDK and tune it in a way that it can provide additional value to the protocol itself. So let's say, for example, this way we were able to create additional revenue streams for the protocol, extracting value from the blockchain itself. And the best part is that a lot of this, and I would say the only thing that those revenue streams will be doing is that the value that they create will be used to buy back our native token from the open market and redistribute those tokens to different parties on the ecosystem. For the beginning, our focus will be on getting tractions in terms of lenders onboarding the protocol and jumpstarting the leases, or there will be sort of a incentivization for those parties. However, on the long run, once, as Kamen mentioned, in the first years, the inflation rates will be high, but in time they will slowly wind down to some more unappealing percentages in terms of APR. So once this happens, we can actually shift some of these revenue streams towards stakers on the protocol, so that we can keep the incentivization there afloat on levels that are relatively decent for everybody.
Makes sense. So the real question everyone's wondering, what percentage of that token supply is reserved for airdrop?
Well, great question. We actually are currently in the middle of completing something similar called lease drop. So the idea was that everyone that's able and want to be a beta tester of our protocol would actually be incentivized through our token distribution, meaning a pool of tokens of our native token that would be distributed towards the first beta testers. You're not too late. We are up until the end of this week in order to try it out, in order to be part of this. You can see it in our Discord channel so that you get all the details and have it being part of it.
Gonna grab a link to your guys' Discord and post it in the stream chat real quick. There we go. There's a Discord there if you guys want to hop in there. So we got a question here. How many validators are in the active set for the Nolus chain?
The active set is comprised from 40 validators. We had a validator submission for, let's say, 25 of them that will take part in our in some sort of a, let's say, validation incentivization program that we did early this year. But I think there are 3 or maybe 4 spots that are still available for people to join that have not participated in this event for whitelisting the Genesis set of validators.
There you go. Oh, that is all the questions we got from chat. Is there anything else you guys wanted to, I guess, get out there, show off?
I guess we should show off once the mainnet is live and we see the numbers there.
Yeah.
Then will be the time to brag. Now it's not the time to brag. Now is the time to work and make everything perfect so that there's something to brag afterwards.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, I think it's a good time to wrap this up then. Thank you for showing us everything, and I'm excited to see you guys launch. Good luck, guys.
Thank you,
It
Kyle.
was a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.